like a drop of rain in an ocean, like a drop in the sea. But many, many nations still got to learn from we, how we aspire and we achieve. It's so hard to believe the unity that is so unique. It's fantastic, yes, so to speak. It's fantastic, yes, it is, the way how we live as one. In integration, all the nation is second to none. Here the Negroes, the white man, the Chinese, the Indian, we walk together in hand. In this wonderland of Calypso, in this wonderland of steel band. God bless our nation.
We are actually going to be showing you a presentation that we made to a number of students at the University of the West Indies. And the way you change your country is by taking a decision to take what you have learned in your classroom and put it into practice by being innovative in the way you do things. So let's talk about nice, easy things, easy way to do things that you can do if you have to solve the problems that we as a nation face. The first one that comes to mind that most people talk about is crime. You say, oh, I can't deal with crime. But you know at the university here that the way you deal with crime is that you have the security guards on patrol. When the security guards are like some evenings, like this evening, when they're not there, you worry because you're now saying, there's nobody on patrol. You feel a sense of worry. And you ask yourself, so why are they on patrol? But that's the same thing for Trinidad. If Trinidad has to get out of this whole thing, there are two things that has to be done for crime. That must be done. And that's the wonderful thing about talking to students. Young people, you all know, your minds are fresh and young, and you know when people are talking nonsense, and you know when people are talking facts. So you know for a fact that there are two things that has to happen in Trinidad to deal with crime. Regardless of what people say about the statistics and that crime is going down, there are two things. One is there must be structured patrol in every neighborhood. You know that. You must get up in the morning and go to bed at night and know that there's a police and patrol in your area. Must happen. And the second thing that must happen is that when someone is charged, within the shortest period of time, that person face the court and have justice done. Those two things. And those two things are missing. So regardless of what anyone said to you, regardless of what any politician tried to feed down your throat, you know, unless those two things are not ingredients that they have there, you cannot solve the problem. You can't. And the only way that will happen is if you get it wrong. Because you have to say, to hell with the bullshit. To hell with the whole talk. I want to do something because it's my country and my family I have to bring up here, and I am getting involved. You have to do that. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the simple things that we have failed to do. Do you know that we like to say, I'll give you an example of simple things that we failed to do. We like to say that Trinidad is the land of the steel pan. Go about and look, you see a steel pan and say, Trinidad. But the most basic thing, two of the most basic things for the steel pan are missing. The most basic things, two of them, just like crime. One is that there's no standardized crime. There's no standardized crime. So if you learn to play pan and despers, and then you go to play pan and phase 2 the next time, and you play with Font Claire, there's a very likely possibility that although you're playing a tenor pan, that the notes will be in a different place. So how difficult it is to sit down and say, you know what? Let's standardize the pan. The guitar is standardized, the organ is standardized. When you take a saxophone, you can pick up a saxophone, the notes are always in the same place. Standardized. Why can't we do that? And it will only be done if you get involved and say, listen, these are the things that we have to do and we will do. The other thing is, when we talk about the pan, is that there are no steel pan factories in Canada. None. There's a top of the line, world-class steel pan factory in Ohio. So if you go to Ohio in the United States, you can order your pan, you can get a whole set of music sheets and all of Kitchener's tunes. You can get a history of the taboo bamboo right up to the pan. And you can go online if you have time and look at it for panyardinc.com and you'll see that whole steel pan industry that's selling the world the steel pan from Ohio in the United States. So Trinidad and Tobago is a problem, and the future of this nation depends on you and whether or not you are going to take what you learn at your university studies and move it away from theory to something in practice. Fundamental to that is to get rid of the structure that fuels these levels of ineptitude. So that you cannot have one person, a CPO, negotiating for the police, negotiating for public servants throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And so as a result of that, because there's just one person, CPO, that's responsible for negotiating wage and salaries, you have salaries and wage negotiations that's backlogged some 5 or 10 years. Because it's not possible for one person to do that. But that's a structure you inherit, and it's a structure you must get rid of. You have a structure where you have a president. The president's daughter goes to the same school where my daughter goes to, St. Joseph College. So the president's daughter goes to school every day. And they stop all the traffic and all that stuff, and they block the road and they put the drive with all the flashing lights, and the president drops his daughter to school. And then there's 2 policemen that stay in the parking lot in the schoolyard for the entire day, running with the air conditioner running while the child is at school. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? For a president who has absolutely no power? Why do we do that? We do that because we inherited a system where the Queen or the King of England was the head. And when the Queen is coming, you courtesy and you bow and all that kind of stuff, and you treat them like royalty. So the president, the Governor General, as the person that represented the Queen, is like a royalty as well. And therefore, we have our little president, our little king, but no power, because the power lies with the Prime Minister. And to change all of that, when people talk about constitutional change all the time, and politicians like to talk about that, but to change things, when you get to that, they're like, hey, you know what? It's so nice that now that I am here, every excuse you'll get while you're there, not to change it, because you enjoy it, like people. So if you remember, 5 years ago, one of the things that you heard is that the politicians were saying, I can't understand why Patrick Manning must come to the people and treat us so badly and say that he has the election date in his back pocket. Come on! What's so difficult? Why they can't tell the people what date it is? that one, we said that's the end of it. From now on, Trinidad and Tobago will know the date of election 2 years before. But did it happen? No, it did not happen, because now you have that same date in your pocket. It's like, wow, wait a minute, my pocket here now. It's my pocket now. It's that whole story of animal farm. You're complaining until you get that power. But one of the things that throughout the world, the only thing that changed things is when you, the young people, when I say young people, I know that some of us here like me, that is little, little older than some. But what I'm saying is that it's only when new people get involved, young people get involved, that it changes things. You can say, I don't want to be like that. I don't have to subscribe to that. Because I can make that change, and don't make that change 5 years from now. Because 5 years from now, you're going to have the same challenges that you've always had. You're going to have the problem of crime. I just explained to you that nobody has come to you and said, listen, I can solve crime because these two fundamental things need to be dealt with. They haven't said that. Instead, what they do, because they've done that so well, is that they bamboozle with statistics and say, crime is going down, we have a plan, we have this and that. Because they know, the two major political parties know that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This whole structure of governance, this whole structure of dealing with issues that we as a nation face and finding solutions, they know that those things don't matter. Because the only thing that matters is to make you feel somehow that it is to do with this. That's all once they can get that in your brain, somewhere in the back of your head, if they can get you to think that race is a factor, then it becomes two parties. If you take race away from the equation, then parties like the Democratic Party of Trinidad and Tobago would be right up top in your whole analysis of who's going to win the election. Because if you go to YouTube and you Google DPTT, you do a YouTube search, for DPTT, you will find that there are 20 episodes where the Democratic Party of Trinidad and Tobago have gone into detail in terms of dealing with their plans for crime, their plans to deal with the environment, the plans to deal with the traffic situation, the plans to deal with agriculture. All of this is detailed in those 20 episodes. Nobody else is talking about it. You can sit down and analyze it and look at it. But more than that, you can start talking to your friends. You can start saying, listen, I have decided to do something different. I have decided that as a student, I no longer want to sit down and want to fit into that structure that has kept us back for the last 40 years. I want to do something that for generations to come would put not only my family and my community, but my country ahead. You see, the problems that we face in Trinidad and Tobago, it's not just Trinidad and Tobago. We face that problem in Guyana, we face that problem in Jamaica, in Barbados, and places like India. All of the Commonwealth countries have had that sort of problem because they were under the Queen at some time. And they are now into this new age where they're having problems dealing with the modern world and an ancient structure. You see, if you need to get money tomorrow in your wallet, you can walk up to the ATM, put in your card, punch in a number, and you get your money. It's that easy. That's the modern world today. If you want to watch Game of Thrones, you can go, that's a good or bad. You get on the computer there and you download the whole thing and you look at it. Easy. It's that easy. So in the modern world. But if you money to get a driver's license or to transfer a car, it's a totally different thing. It's no longer under your control. So you have to go down to like say 8 o'clock in the morning. You have to wait for almost half the day, and heaven help you if the cashier decides that, hey, lunchtime reached and she's gone. So governments have come and governments can go, but the government structure has not kept up with the world. And this whole structure of doing things, that whole archaic way of doing things, has not kept up with this modern world. And the only way that can happen is that you have to do two things. And I like to know we talk about two things all the time. So to change that, you have to do two things. You have to first decide that I am going to act. Nobody's going to act on my behalf. I am going to act. I am going to do something, because in this one life that I have, it's now up to me to do something with it. So rather than simply learn about theories and so on, I am going to act. I'm going to do something. And that's the first thing you're going to do. Once you have made that step, once you have decided I'm going to take action, you've done something that's changed it. And the second thing you need to do is to tell everyone and among yourself, be convinced that never in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, never again in this land will I ever allow any politician, anyone, to have me think that the politics of this land is based on race. It must be based on competence and ability and vision. If you did those things, Trinidad and Tobago would benefit. If you did those two things, if you decide to act and you decide to not let race be a factor, now you can scientifically and intelligently analyze what the challenges are and what we need to do as a nation to fix it. So in closing, I know I don't want to be too long, I know it's hard to think. In closing, I want to ask you to join with me. Look at those 20 episodes. Go on the website, it's dptt.org.tt. Look at the vision that the Democratic Party has. And talk to someone to ask them to join with me to offer to Trinidad and Tobago 40 representatives. There are 41 seats. I'm going up, and we need 40 now. Take that action. Join with me and say, listen, I am going to do this simply because I cannot afford to let the country go down the road. Talk about it, think about it, and look at where you need to go. Now, if on the other hand you are happy, you think that the government is doing a fantastic job, and it doesn't matter to you that for the last 20 years we have the traffic going into town and traffic going to San Fernando and there are no solutions to it. If it doesn't matter to you that after 20 or 30 years our agriculture has gone down to parched lands and we have absolutely no idea what is the national crop that we're marketing or we're planning to get involved in. If it doesn't matter to you, that the fact that people can go into the sea and catch as much as they can regardless of the size of the fish, it doesn't matter to you that the hunters can go out there and kill what they want in the hunting season and regardless of the size, if it doesn't matter to you, then go ahead and vote. If it doesn't matter to you that your children and your children's children will never be able to afford a house in the West unless they get involved in corruption, if you want to build it, if you want to deal with the problems that we have, if you want to make politics real to you, so that it gets beyond the theory, then you have to act.
In the evening of my life I shall look to the sunset.